Hi, this is Richard Fields with Report from the Fields. This reporter has never been a fan of the Trump administration, nor am I a supporter of the United States meddling in other countries' internal or external conflicts. But I will say this: if we do meddle in other countries' conflicts, it's better to do so in a way that fosters peace rather than in a way that increases tensions and leads to war. An example of meddling in the absolute wrong way was the Obama administration's CIA inspired and support of a coup which overthrew the duly elected but Russian aligned president of Ukraine in 2014. It ultimately led to the seemingly unwinnable defensive war that Ukraine is waging against Russia. An example of meddling in a more productive way was the Trump administration's facilitation of the Abraham Accords. The Abraham Accords led to normalized diplomatic relations between Israel and numerous Arab states, including the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Sudan, and Morocco. These were the first formal ties between Israel and Arab nations in many years. It would be an understatement to say that the leadership of Gaza was not pleased with the Abraham Accords. It does not take a leap of logic to speculate that Gaza's October 2023 attack on Israel was an attempt by the Gaza leadership to say, hey, you have sidelined the Palestinian cause, and we're not having it. The attack made by Gaza on civilians in Israel was brutal. It encouraged an equally or even more brutal Israeli response. And that's just what the Gaza leadership wanted. Now, the world's attention is focused on the deaths of thousands of Gazans. The brutality of the surprise October attack by Gaza on Israel and the taking of hostages is fading into the memory hole. A little ancient history is needed to bring context to this war. It comes down to who owns the land, Jews or Palestinians, or individuals of both Jewish and Palestinian heritage. Jews have ties to the land going back at least 3,000 years to the kingdoms of Israel and Judah. Arabs have their own ties to the land since the Arab conquest in the 7th century. American citizens of both Jewish and Arab ancestry have very strong and mostly contradictory opinions on who should own the land in Israel. The United States as a country should follow the dictum of George Washington in his farewell address to the nation in 1796. Quote, trade with all nations, but entangling alliances with none. End quote. American tax dollars should not be supporting Israel as they are now, nor should they be supporting the Palestinians. The same principle applies to supporting Ukraine versus Russia, or any of the 15 shadow wars we're involved in. Nor should we be maintaining 750 military bases in 80 countries around the world. Last year, 13% of federal spending went to the military. That's down from 15% in recent years, largely due to increases in spending elsewhere. But we could easily cut our offense spending at least in half if we follow the sage advice of our first president. That's this week's Report from the Fields. See you again next week.